Hey, what's up? Johnny Wimbrey here, stopping my bike ride like normal. Little quiet place, quiet time that I stop, and I want to share a message with you. And as always, I'm committed to sharing messages that will bring breakthrough in your life, the same way that it brought breakthrough in my life. And I want people to understand, listen, the messages that come to me while I'm riding my bike, or the messages that come to me, period, are typically things that that came from an external source, if you know what I mean. It's a message that happened outside of me that I allowed to happen inside me. And that's how messages happen, man. You know, we are not the manifestation of our own thoughts. We are the manifestation of the thoughts that we allow to control us. And, you know, right now, you know, we start celebrating the memorial lives of my father today. And I want to share a message with you that is a tribute to him. And the message is, the circle of life is undefeated. The circle of life is undefeated. And, you know, I think about the movie Lion King. The new version just came out a few weeks ago. And, you know, I think about things about my father. You know, I think about Mufasa. I think about the fact that, you know, he was a king. He was of royal lineage. And his son had the birthright to walk in the exact same, you know, honor and the exact same manifestation that his father walked in. But something happened. You know, the son got confused by the enemy. The son allowed negative thinking and negative accusations that were false to enter his brain. You know, Zig Ziglar said, you know, fear is false evidence that appears real. Simba was following false evidence. The false evidence caused him to run from his rightful birthrights as the future king. And I'm telling you guys right now, every single one of you, you are kings and you are queens. You know, if you don't believe in God, I don't know how to help you out with that one, but I do know how to help you out with that one. Let me show you. There it is right there. But that's not the point of the message. The point of the message is you come from royalty, so walk in it. You are more than a conqueror. What's more than a conqueror? Someone who conquers something is a winner. But what is more than a conqueror? More than a conqueror is if you use your natural birthrights, your royal lineage, and you don't let the enemy get into your head and say, you're not worth it. You don't deserve it. You're not going to be anything. Get your head out of the clouds. You don't come from royalty or riches. Your parents weren't rich. What makes you think you're going to be rich? What makes you think you're going to be successful? What makes you think that you can have a successful marriage? You don't come from successful marriages. Those are voices that I had to fight my entire life. The same way that Simba had to fight the voice of his uncle Scar. And Scar was in his voice, in his head saying, you killed your father. Your father's dead because of you. And if you don't run from this life of royalty, if you don't run from being the future king, they are going to skull you. They are going to cast you out because I'm going to tell them that you killed your father. And he believed it. He believed the lie. Many of you are running from your natural birthright of success because you have believed the lie. Maybe your parents believed the lie before you. Maybe your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and so forth and so on have believed the lie for so long that you don't even remember the truth. Simba was designed to kill what he ate, but he found himself eating worms. How many of you are eating worms right now when you were raised, you were born to eat off a royal table? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of you have believed the lie. I believe the lie. You know, people ask me all the time, Johnny, if you can go back and change anything, you're successful when it comes to finances. You're successful when it comes to running corporations. You know, we're 50 countries around the world where I'm building teams successfully. You're successful in those areas, Johnny. You're a #1 best-selling author. You know, you're a celebrity life coach. You've been on television with Steve Harvey. You've been seen with Oprah Winfrey and so many other people, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Les Brown, so many incredible people who are out there. Johnny, you created all this. What would you do different? Man, I would just had believed sooner. I wish somebody would have told me when I was 13, 14, 15 years old that, Johnny, you come from royal lineage. You are a child of the King. You are a child of the Creator. Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. God created the world and everything in it is His. And if you are His royal lineage, everything on earth belongs to you too. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that because we weren't taught that growing up. We weren't taught that we came from a royal place. We weren't taught that, we should be eating from the King's table. We were taught, stick with the worms, hang out with pigs, hang out, in an area that's not even your natural habitat. My natural habitat is royalty. It's not hanging out in the woods, eating worms from the ground. That's not my natural habitat. But what happens when you let the scar lie to you, like Simba did? It scars you for life. And I want you to hear this message, man. I really want you to get this because these are things that I'm thinking about my father right now, things that he taught me. My father was a very strong man. My father never slowed down his life to be my friend. He always was in the mindset of being my father. Some of you parents, you're worried about your kids being your friend. And that's where I learned it from. You can ask my kids right now. I don't care if my kids like me. I don't care if my kids are my friends. It's my job to raise them. It's my job to protect them, to provide for them. It's not my job to be their friend. It's my job to be their father. Some of you have believed the lie so long that now you're passing down worms and bugs to your kids to eat because you forgot you were royal lineage. I'm telling you right now, people, you're royal lineage. You come from the Most High God. You are royalty. Stop eating off the ground. Stop thinking like people who are on the ground. My father didn't care about anybody or anything. He only cared about providing and protecting us. And I'm not going to say that's perfect, but I will say this. My dad didn't let me sit on my ass. He forced me to be a man. And from a man to any other man that's listening to me right now, stand up. Walk into your rightful birthright. There's a part of the movie in The Lion King when the monkey comes, Ifiku, whatever his name is, he finds Simba eating ground worms and hanging out with a warthog. He's supposed to eat the warthog. He's hanging out with the things that he's supposed to be eating. And he found himself participating and living on a level of life. And I don't want to use the word peasants because man, I got to connect these videos to make it flow. I was just saying, listen, some of you are hanging out with pigs and you're supposed to be eating them. Some of you are eating off the ground when you should be served at tables like a king. And here's what I'm saying, man. No one who's hearing my voice right now has any limitations beyond their own thinking. If you can create an unlimited thinking, you can create an unlimited lifestyle. And I'm telling you that right now from scratch. My father woke up a sleeping giant in me because he said, he told me things like, average is called average because anybody can do it. So when you find yourself being average, I want you to think to yourself, you didn't really do anything. All you did was show up. Because if you want to be like everyone else, all you got to do is show up. He forced me to think above average. My father was a trash man. During Christmas, he would take us on his trash route because he used to serve multi-million-dollar homes and throw away their trash. He had billionaires on his route that he threw trash for. He would pick up their trash. So in Christmas time, when we go look at the lights, we didn't look at the lights in our own neighborhood. We didn't look at the lights in our own hood. We drove to the west side of Fort Worth where the mansions were. And I don't know where my dad got this from. I don't know why he thought like this. We would jump in our hoopty, load it up to the doors, and no joke, we would literally be in the windshield in the back because we didn't have seats. And I was small enough to be in the windshield. So I would sit in the windshield where everybody else was sitting. I would be in the window in the back of the car. You remember those old school cars that would have big windows? And it was an old school car for us at the time. It was an old school hoopty. And he would take us to look at mansions with Christmas lights. Like, where did he get that from? Was he reintroducing me to my birthright? That I was born of the Most High King? I don't know if he thought that far out. But I'm telling you, he did it and it worked for me. I'm giving every single one of you permission to stop hanging out with warthogs. Stop hanging around, animals that you're supposed to be eating. You were born to win. Walk in your truthful birthright. As I go celebrate my father, if this message moves you in any way, please make a comment. Love you guys.